Welcome back to our channel, soap fans. Today is an absolutely beautiful day to dive into the most explosive, jaw-dropping drama Los Angeles has ever witnessed. We have a massive, game-changing scoop that is guaranteed to leave you breathless and rewrite history. Let's get straight into the madness. The heavy, imposing mahogany doors of the Forrester Creations CEO office do not just open. They are practically blown off their hinges with the force of a detonating bomb. Darcy Dillon has officially arrived in Los Angeles, and she is not here to play corporate games or exchange pleasantries. The fiercely protective mother storms into the executive suite with the velocity of a hurricane, her eyes blazing with a lethal, maternal fury that demands immediate, brutal retribution. She is here to rip Electra Forrester to shreds for the relentless, vicious bullying of her daughter, Melissa Dillon. The air in the luxurious room instantly turns to ice as Darcy prepares to unleash a war that will leave the entire Forrester family trembling in her wake. But the true, apocalyptic explosion does not come from Darcy's wrath. It comes from the man sitting behind the legendary desk. Eric Forrester looks up from his designs, his initial irritation instantly melting into absolute, paralyzed shock. The woman standing before him, radiating dangerous confidence and unyielding power, is not just a furious mother seeking justice. She is a ghost from a passionate, deeply buried past, a phantom who has just walked straight out of his most guarded memories. Time completely stops in the executive suite. The sounds of the bustling fashion house outside fade into a deafening, suffocating silence. Eric Forrester stares at Darcy, his breath catching painfully in his throat as a massive tidal wave of suppressed memories crashes over him. Decades ago, during a highly classified, secret trip far away from the prying eyes of the Los Angeles paparazzi and the suffocating pressures of his fashion empire, Eric engaged in a torrid, all-consuming romance. It was a love affair burned into his very soul, a fiery secret he swore to take to his grave to protect his legacy. And now, the woman who owned his heart during that stolen, reckless chapter of his life is standing right in his office. Darcy locks eyes with Eric, and for a fraction of a second, the impenetrable armor of the fierce mama bear cracks. A flicker of sheer, unadulterated shock flashes across her beautifully hardened face. She recognizes him instantly. The billionaire fashion mogul, the patriarch of the Forrester dynasty, is the man from her past. But Darcy is a survivor. Within a heartbeat, she slams her emotional vault shut, replacing her momentary vulnerability with an icy, calculated glare that could freeze the sun. She refuses to let Eric see the devastating impact of this reunion. The revelation hits Eric like a physical blow to the chest, but it is what happens next that truly shatters his reality into a million jagged pieces. His eyes slowly, agonizingly drift from Darcy's hardened face to the young woman standing slightly behind her. Melissa Dillon, the girl who has been dragged through the mud, accused of being a cheap gold digger, and mercilessly bullied by his own granddaughter, Electra. Eric looks at Melissa with entirely new eyes, his brilliant, analytical mind racing at 1,000,000 miles an hour. He remembers the sketches he saw her working on, the casual, brilliant doodles she left scattered around the design room. Before, he dismissed them as the amateur scribbles of a passing assistant. Now, a terrifying, awe-inspiring realization washes over him. The strokes, the bold lines, the innate understanding of silhouette and structure. It all screams Forrester. Melissa's artistic vision possesses a raw, undeniable similarity to the legendary Forrester design aesthetic. It is not just learned talent. It is genetic. The artistic DNA of his family is flowing through the veins of the woman his family is currently trying to destroy. Darcy's explosive arrival in Los Angeles was initially triggered by Katie Logan Spencer's ruthless attacks on Melissa over Will Spencer. But this sudden, shocking connection to Eric Forrester elevates the stakes to a catastrophic, world-ending level. Darcy is no longer just a threat to Katie's desperate attempts to control her son's love life. She is a walking, talking wrecking ball aimed directly at the foundation of Eric's marriage to Donna Logan. If the truth about Eric and Darcy's secret past comes to light, the fallout will be apocalyptic. Donna has stood by Eric through his darkest hours, through his near-death experiences, and through the brutal, blood-stained corporate wars. To discover that her husband harbors a massive, passionate secret involving the mother of the girl currently tearing the Spencer and Forrester families apart would break Donna's heart and ignite a marital crisis of epic proportions. The Forrester empire relies on stability, but Darcy's presence threatens to trigger an earthquake that will leave nothing but rubble. The tension in the CEO office reaches a boiling point as Eric abruptly dismisses everyone else from the room, demanding a private, immediate moment with the woman from his past. The instant the doors click shut, the corporate facade completely crumbles. Eric demands answers, his voice trembling with a mixture of rage and desperate hope. He pushes Darcy to acknowledge their history, the fiery nights, the promises made in the shadows when they thought the world couldn't see them. Darcy does not back down for a single second. She steps right into Eric's personal space, her voice a lethal, venomous whisper that cuts through the silence. She admits to their passionate past, acknowledging the fire that once burned between them, but her confession comes with a brutal, non-negotiable ultimatum. She demands absolute, unwavering silence. Darcy fiercely protects her daughter, and she refuses to allow Melissa's life to be upended by the chaotic, toxic drama of the Forrester dynasty. She orders Eric to bury the past, to pretend he never knew her, and to ensure that Elektra backs off immediately. Darcy's maternal instinct is terrifying in its intensity. She will burn Forrester creations to the ground before she lets Eric ruin Melissa's life. But Eric Forrester is not a man who can simply turn off his brilliant, analytical mind. As Darcy issues her threats and storms out of the office, leaving a trail of devastation in her wake, Eric is left alone with the deafening roar of his own thoughts. He begins to do the math. He calculates the exact timeline of his secret, passionate trip with Darcy. He counts the months, the years, working backward from Melissa Dillon's current age. The numbers align with a terrifying, undeniable precision. Melissa's birth date falls perfectly, flawlessly into the window of 9 months after Eric and Darcy's agonizing breakup. The realization hits him with the force of a runaway freight train, knocking the wind out of his lungs. Melissa Dillon is not just a talented assistant. She is not just a girl caught in a messy love triangle with Will Spencer and Elektra Forrester. She is his flesh and blood. She is a Forrester. She is his daughter. The patriarch of the Forrester family cannot let this go. The mere possibility that he has an illegitimate daughter wandering the halls of his company, being treated like absolute garbage by his own relatives, consumes him entirely. Eric launches a highly secretive, covert investigation, operating completely off the grid. He uses his vast resources and unparalleled influence to bypass the usual channels, knowing that if Ridge or Steffi catch wind of this, all hell will break loose. He begins digging into Melissa Dillon's background, searching for medical records, birth certificates, and any shred of documentation that can confirm his earth-shattering suspicion. Every file he uncovers, every piece of data he analyzes, only strengthens his belief. The puzzle pieces are snapping together, forming a picture that will rewrite the entire history of the Forrester family. Eric is operating in the shadows, fueled by a desperate need to know the truth about the child he never knew he had. While Eric descends into this obsessive, secret quest for the truth, his wife remains blissfully, tragically ignorant. Donna Forrester notices the severe shift in her husband's demeanor. She sees his distraction, his sudden bouts of silence, the way he stares off into space during important meetings. But Donna draws the completely wrong conclusion. She attributes Eric's erratic behavior to lingering physical trauma. She believes he is still suffering from the physical and emotional aftershocks of the brutal incident at the bikini bar, where Will Spencer inadvertently punched him in the face during a violent brawl with RJ. Donna hovers over Eric, coddling him, urging him to rest, completely unaware that the man she loves is not battling a concussion. He is battling the ghosts of his past and the terrifying prospect of a secret child, Donna's misplaced concern only adds to Eric's suffocating guilt as he continues his covert investigation right under her nose, lying to the woman who has dedicated her life to him. The dramatic irony of the situation is sickening, a vicious twist of fate that leaves Eric physically nauseous. He watches from the sidelines as the women in his family launch relentless, vicious attacks against Melissa Dillon. He watches Electra Forrester, his entitled, aggressive granddaughter, pull rank, threaten Melissa's job, and literally slap her across the face in a fit of jealous rage. He watches Katie Logan Spencer go on a ruthless warpath, branding Melissa a cheap gold digger and a manipulative social climber who is only after the Spencer fortune. Eric is forced to stand by and witness his own flesh and blood being degraded, humiliated, and shunned by the very people who share her DNA. The girl they are treating like a disposable peasant is actually a Forrester heir, possessing a legitimate claim to the empire they are so desperately trying to protect. The rage building inside Eric is volcanic. His family is destroying his daughter, and they don't even know it. Eric Forrester is now standing at the edge of the most catastrophic precipice of his entire life. He is faced with an impossible, soul-crushing choice that will define his legacy. On one hand, he can obey Darcy's fierce demands. He can keep his mouth shut, bury the truth forever, and protect his marriage to Donna from a scandal that would undoubtedly destroy it. He can preserve the delicate balance of the Forrester and Logan families, allowing Melissa to remain in the dark about her true heritage and sparing her the toxic spotlight of the Forrester name. But on the other hand, the blood running through his veins screams for justice. How can he remain silent while his own daughter is bullied and tormented by Electra? How can he let Katie Spencer destroy Melissa's reputation? To claim Melissa as his own would mean declaring war on his own family. It would mean exposing a decades-old lie, betraying Donna's trust, and unleashing a corporate and personal earthquake that Forrester Creations might not survive. The tension is escalating at a breakneck pace, a ticking time bomb waiting to obliterate Los Angeles. Darcy Dillon is not a woman who makes idle threats. She is currently prowling the halls of Forrester Creations, ready to strike back against anyone who dares to look at Melissa the wrong way. Katie Spencer is doubling down on her attacks, completely unaware that she is poking a bear that could rip her life apart. And Electra Forrester continues to parade around with her unearned arrogance, oblivious to the fact that the girl she slapped is her own aunt. Eric is running out of time. His secret investigation is nearing its conclusion, and the DNA results are imminent. When the truth finally drops, the blast radius will spare no one. He thinks about RJ pitching Electra to lead a new youth line, an absolute insult to fashion when Melissa possesses the true, raw Forrester talent. The injustice of it all is driving Eric to the brink of madness. Eric envisions a future where Melissa takes her rightful place, sketching alongside him, carrying the Forrester name into the next generation with her undeniable genius. But to give her that future, he must completely destroy his present. He must shatter Donna's heart, alienate Ridge and Steffi, and face the wrath of Darcy Dillon. The walls are closing in on the patriarch. Every time he looks at Melissa, he sees the ghost of the woman he loved and the brilliant future of his company. The secret is too massive to contain, too volatile to bury. The Forrester family is built on secrets and lies, but this one has the power to burn the entire dynasty to the ground. The countdown has reached 0, and Eric Forrester is holding the match. Will Eric destroy his marriage and his empire to claim his secret daughter, or will he let his own flesh and blood be destroyed by the Forrester snobs? Drop your wildest theories in the comments below and subscribe for the next shocking breakdown.